everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back, or welcome to Bookish Blonde. So today for you, I have March's theme word for recommendations, and that is Mythology March. So this one is going to be a little bit more like, hey, what do I have on my shelves versus recommendations, because I've only read 4 of these books that I'm about to share with you. I have so many different mythology books on my shelves because my daughter loves Greek mythology. I actually wish she could do this video for me because she'd probably do it more justice than I can, especially when it comes to pronouncing some of these names. So bear with me, but let's start with the 4 that I have read that I really enjoyed. The first one I actually have lent out to a friend right now, but that is called Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is actually a YA historical fiction book, but the twist is the story is told by the Greek gods. There's a couple different characters with different storylines that interweave together. It has, I love the romance in it. It definitely was young adult. Honestly, I think anyone around the ages 12 or older, it would be appropriate for. They would enjoy it. And I gave this, I think, 4 or 5 stars. I don't remember. I read it a couple years ago, but it was such a unique twist and such a great book that I highly recommend that one. If you haven't heard of that one, check that one out. Actually, in February, I just finished The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. This was a group read over with the BookTube besties, or no, Booklist Thursday. So it was just Sarah and Lindsay. But I gave this 4 stars as well. Definitely will continue on in the series. This one is, if you like Percy Jackson and the Hunger Games, you're going to like this. So what this one is about is, I think every 10 years or 100 years or something, the gods pick one mortal to compete in these different challenges, these different labors. And the winner of these labors, that god becomes the new king of the gods. There was romance in this. It read more like YA until about a little bit more than half, and then there was some adult content in here, but very minimal adult content. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had so much fun with it. I really liked the ending. It definitely left us on a cliffhanger for book 2, which I don't have any idea what it's called or when that's coming out. But this one was really fun. And if you like books with, like I said, if you like Percy Jackson or Hunger Games, I would definitely give this a try if you haven't already. All right, the next 2 I have beautiful covers of. I love these editions. This is The Song of Achilles and Circe by Madeline Miller. I forget where I got these. It was a few years ago. I don't even know if they're available anymore. They are UK editions. They have the end pages. It's got some floral work, and then the rest of it's just... I actually have not even read these copies before. I read a different copy. Circe has a little feather on that and more end pages. Both of them have a fabric bookmark. But yeah, these were great. I gave this one 5 stars, this one 4.5 stars when I read them. Obviously, the Song of Achilles is about Achilles and the Trojan War. And then Circe is actually she is put on a deserted island because her father, she has no powers like her father does. Her beauty does not match up to her mother, so they isolate her on this island. And she's a witch, and she learns the trade of witchcraft. Very feminist, more style book. A lot of these are, I feel. A lot of them are about the women of Greece. So that's that. So those are the 4 that I have read. Now I'm going to just share with you all the books I have. I don't know much about them, but we're going to just go with it. All right, so this one is by Natalie Haynes. There's more than one by her on this list. And this is Pandora's Jar. This one, you're getting short chapters about different women of Greek myths, basically. So this one will go along well with all the other ones I'm about to show you, including Circe, which I just shared. And this one's really fun. I want to say, let's see. I mean, there's names in here I can't pronounce, and I've never even heard of. Let's see. They're probably about 20 to 30 pages each chapter. So that's kind of like an introduction on who's who. So that's kind of cool. This one is by Claire North. This is called Ithaca. This one I actually bought wanting to read it myself because Claire North, she wrote something else I really enjoyed. But so 17 years ago, King Odysseus sailed to war with Troy, taking with him every man of fighting age from the Isle of Ithaca. None of them has returned. Penelope was barely into womanhood when she wed Odysseus. I'm probably saying these names wrong. While he lived, her position was secure. But now, years on, speculation is mounting that her husband is dead and suitors are beginning to knock at her door. No one man is strong enough to claim Odysseus's empty throne, not yet. But as everyone waits for the balance of power to tip, Penelope knows that any choice she makes could plunge Ithaca into bloody civil war. So, there's that one. Okay. Next one is Electra by Jennifer Saint. So this follows 3 different women, and it has to do with an ancient curse. So we are following Clytemnestra, who marries Agamemnon. I'm doing well so far, doing good so far. She ignores the insidious whispers about his family line. But when, on the eve of the Trojan War, Agamemnon betrays Clytemnestra in the most unimaginable way, she must confront the curse that has long ravaged their family. So, and in Troy, there's a princess named Cassandra who has a gift of prophecy, but no one believes anything she says. And then Electra. So, let's see. I don't know, it just says Electra, Clytemnestra, and Agamemnon's youngest daughter wants only for her beloved father to return home from war. But can she escape her family's bloody history, or is that her destiny that's bound in violence too? So there's that one. All right. Pat Barker, who is the winner of a Booker Prize Award, it says right here on the cover. This is called The Silence of the Girls. And this one, I want to say it was Book of the Month, but nope, I guess I'm wrong. It's not Book of the Month. Okay, so The Silence of the Girls. I think it's a retelling of the Iliad. Yes, it's a retelling of the Iliad as experienced by the captured women living in the Greek camp during the final weeks of the Trojan War. The main women in here, Helen, Briseis, I think I'm saying that right, I don't know. Briseis seems to be the main female character in this book. She is Achilles, like, maid or something like that. Oh, she's Achilles' concubine. Okay, so we're following Briseis in The Silence of the Girls, and she is Achilles' concubine, if I'm saying that right. And so, yeah, you're following her and what life is like for Greek women in the camp during the Trojan War. That one. All right, The Woman of Troy by Pat Barker. So, same author. This one, it says, in the daring and timely feminist retelling of the Iliad, Troy has fallen and the victorious Greeks are eager to return home with the spoils of an endless war, including the women of Troy themselves. So maybe this book takes place after this book, but they're not like a series or anything like that. And because you have Briseis in this as well, formerly Achilles' slave and now belonging to his companion, quietly takes in these developments. She forges alliances when she can with Priam's aged wife, the defiant Hecuba, and with the disgraced soothsayer Calchas, all the while shrewdly seeking her path to revenge. So this one's going to be a book about revenge. Sorry, I know I'm not doing these justice, but they are very overlapping, confusing, hard names, and I haven't read any of them. All right, I also own 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. Again, this is the Trojan War. We're following the women of the Trojan War. It says, from the Trojan women whose fates now lie in the hands of the Greeks to the Amazon princess who fought Achilles on their behalf, from Penelope awaiting the return of Odysseus to the three goddesses whose feud started it all. These are the stories of the women whose lives, loves, and rivalries were forever altered by history's most infamous war. There's that one. I'm going to let my daughter read all of these and then tell me which ones I need to read and which ones I can just skip over. All right, next one is by Claire Haywood. This is called Daughters of Sparta. And this one is blurbed by Fiona Davis. And it says, required reading for fans of Circe and a remarkable, thrilling debut. So this is a debut novel by Claire Haywood. It says, as princesses of Sparta, Helen and Clytemnestra have known nothing but luxury and plenty. With their high birth and unrivaled beauty, they're the envy of all of Greece. But such privilege comes at a cost. While still only girls, the sisters are separated and married to foreign kings of their father's choosing. Yet, even as queens, each is only expected to do two things, birth an heir and embody the meek, demure nature that is expected of women. But when the weight of their husband's neglect, cruelty, and ambition becomes too heavy to bear, Helen and Clytemnestra must push against the constraints of their society to carve new lives for themselves, and in doing so, make waves that will ripple throughout the next 300 years. So there you go. So like I said, a lot of these books have overlapping stories, and that's why I'm letting my daughter read them all and tell me which ones are good. All right, Athena's Child. This is by Hannah Lynn. This one's a short one. It says, to be young, beautiful, and innocent is a curse. Knowing this, Medusa, the loveliest of her sisters, seeks sanctuary in the goddess Athena's temple. But she soon realizes that a woman among gods can never be safe, especially once she's caught the eye of the mighty Poseidon. A victim of his desires, Medusa is blamed for them, and to avoid the unjust wrath of Athena, she flees. So this one is following the story of Medusa. So there's that one. And then last but not least, I told my daughter she can't read this one until after I read it, just to make sure it's okay, because this one is all about a brothel. And we're following Amara, who was once the beloved daughter of a Greek doctor, but her father dies and she's plunged with her mother into destitution. Now Amara is a slave and prostitute in Pompeii's notorious Wolf Dun brothel. It's owned by a cruel and ruthless man, but she's very intelligent. She's trying to stay true to herself. She makes friends with the other women at this brothel, and you're just following her story as I think she's trying to probably leave the brothel and escape, but I'm not sure. So there's that one. Whew, that was a lot. Thanks again for bearing with me with the butchering of probably all those names. But yeah, do you guys like Greek mythology? What made me think of this video was reading the Gods Games play. And I just thought this would be a fun one for March. So let me know if you've read any of these, which ones should I read? Because there's no way I'm reading all of these because a lot of the stories are so overlapping each other. So let me know which author is the best, which one do you guys gravitate to? Please let me know down in the comments so I have a little guidance on what to pick up. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Happy reading. See you in my next video. Bye.